Ladies and gentlemen, Open Finance pioneers, hello, hello, and a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining our Open Finance Appathon deep dive session with Railsbank. I am going to talk to you a little bit around the Open Finance Appathon, and then I'm going to hand over to Louisa, Lou, who has global responsibility for the sales team, and she's joined by three of her colleagues, Harrison, Nuno, and Adam. And they're going to talk through Railsbank, their APIs, their capability, and explain the ease at which you can connect via the developer portal. And very, very crucially, they're going to be spending some time looking at the use case. Always got to be around the use case. So our Open Finance Appathon is a competition. It's supported by both Mastercard and AWS. So I would like to say thank you to them. At OBE, we believe that innovation drives collaboration. So we've brought together three of the best API providers in the industry. The aim of our competition is to inspire, absolutely, that's the key part, is to inspire startups and scale-ups to develop market-ready product. Now, this is supporting the growth trajectory of our sector. Now, what we're really looking for is for you to put on your thinking hats and to solve problems that will make a real difference. It's to work with your developers, your teams from product and UX, and to think through a problem and be excited about solving all of that or part of that problem to build better products for the customer. Always, as we said at the beginning, about the use case. It's actually the power of the idea, building something. And I find that's the most exciting part. Maybe I didn't get enough Lego as a child, but it's seeing that problem, having that light bulb moment, and then thinking it through to execution to create some very powerful use cases that will make an impact on people's lives. It's looking at how to combine data sets that will have that impact. There you go, your Lego again. With over 2 million API calls in the UK, Open Banking, Open Finance is allowing customers to make more informed and better decisions about their financial life. It's empowering. It's your opportunity to create something very, very special, and with Railsbank too. Now, we've 4 challenge statements that you can see on our LinkedIn page or at our website, and they are Open Finance for Good. And I would encourage you in the middle of a pandemic to lean into that one and to be inspired. Retail and SME banking, corporate finance, and payments. We've 12 amazing judges, industry leaders, and innovators. And they're looking for innovation, they tell me, that's well executed. And we are excited to see what the talent within our sector has to offer. Okay, so now I'm getting tongue-tied. Now let's have a look at the prizes. Okay, so AWS are giving $5,000 US of AWS credits to 12 of the finalists. And Railsbank have been super, super generous, and they are giving free API consumption for 6 months, capped at £5,000 for 12 of the finalists. So just to return to one of the challenge statements, if I may. At OBE, we believe that open banking payments should be ubiquitous. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a QR code. So during this API deep dive with Railsbank, you can lift your phone, scan in a QR code, and you can make a charity donation. So a little bit of commercial karma coming back to you. On the screen, you'll also see the very, very talented Karina. As always, she's graphically recording what the panel are generously going to share, and she will be recording the technical intricacies of an API from Railsbank, and that takes a huge amount of talent, so thank you very much, Karina. At the other side of your screen, you will be able to see how easy it is to access the developer portal from Railsbank. So please, after this session, I invite you to register for the Appathon and to have a look at Railsbank's APIs. As always, we will be posting this recording on LinkedIn, and you can be able to see it on the same website that you're on at the moment. We do have questions. We will be taking questions via Slido. So it's your opportunity to shape this conversation, to ask Railsbank their questions. So please don't be shy. Do keep those questions coming. So without further ado, it's absolutely my pleasure now to hand over to Lou and her team from Railsbank. I'm going to sit back and listen and learn. Thank you very much, Lou.
Thank you. Nuno, would you like to start presenting? And in the meantime, thank you, Helen. And again, a very warm welcome to everyone to today's deep dive. And I really hope you're going to enjoy it. By way of introduction, I'm Louisa Murray and I lead the sales team here and marketing team at Railsbank. We've got a wide range of experiences between us across many industries and use cases. We're totally familiar with all types of companies, from startups to blue chips, and we're lots of experience in a large number of countries. I think there's about 40 different languages throughout the company, and we're headquartered in London, but have offices in Singapore, Germany, Lithuania, Philippines, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Ireland, and the US. So we really are a truly global company. So introduction to Railsbank and our approach. Fundamentally, we believe that any company can be a fintech. What's more, we also believe that consumers and SMEs will buy financial services from the brands they trust within a very familiar and timely customer experience. Therefore, we enable companies to conceptualize, prototype, launch, scale, and operate any type of financial product on the Railsbank platform and embed these financial products into their own customer experience, either an app or a platform or something, using our super simple APIs. The Railsbank platform is also unique in that it goes beyond just technology and is also providing the underlying financial regulated products, and we operate those for our customers. So we conceive the platform as a complete financial services utility, and this enables any customer to scale, okay? And they can do this very rapidly and safely. We've made all the financial products that we've got, the very basic ones, digitally native, and all our core capabilities, such as banking as a service, cards as a service, are pure digital products positioned at a hugely competitive price point. Because Railsbank provides the complete stack of technology, the product, scheme memberships, regulation, and the platform enables its customers to launch an MVP or minimal viable product of their whole financial experience in 6 to 8 weeks. The fastest that we've actually achieved was a neobank that went from idea to the App Store in just 8 days, and that was called Lightning Aid. So like Netflix and Apple did for video and music, we provide a complete industry stack, which includes the technology, regulatory, licensing, payment scheme memberships, operations, and compliance. And then that means we can give the same API experience to customers in whatever country Railsbank's used. We're live in the UK, Europe, we're live in Singapore, we're just about to launch in Australia and the Philippines, and we recently launched in the States as well. So there's been many highlights since we founded in 2016, not least the fact that we've grown over 350% in the last year. So I was employee number 4, and we're up to about 175 people at the moment. So we consider ourselves a pioneer within the wider financial services sector, and this is why we're so excited about this Appathon. We think it's a great chance to explore open banking and its potential to help financial inclusivity across the globe, and we're greatly encouraged by the number that have signed up for this webinar. I hope more will as well, but we're really excited of the amount we've got already. So now I'd like to hand you over to the members of the Railsbank team who are going to be helping you through this deep dive. Starts off with Nuno. So Nuno is pre-sales and within the customer success team as well. He's based in London, so him and I work really closely together, and we've done some really good business as well. He's going to follow up after with Adam, who I've worked with for many years now, and Adam was the original CTO of Railsbank and is now the Chief Platform Officer and CISO. So he's run many hackathons before. We've done a couple together, haven't we, Adam? And then we're going to follow up with Harrison, who's currently at Yale. So this is very early in the morning for him, and he's head of our product roadmap. So I'll hand it over to you, Nuno.
Thank you, Lou. Yes, as Lou said, my name is Nuno. Work at the capacity of a customer success manager and working alongside with Lou on a sales to kind of act as a, let's say, a technical consultant to our customers to let them know how they can use our API to meet their expectations and to design their own solution for their own use case scenario. I guess my point in here is to show you how easy and volatile our platform is. I'm going to introduce you to 3 different use case scenarios that we have worked alongside with 3 of our customers to support their use case and how they and the service that they wanted to provide to their final users, which we call end users. So the first customer and use case scenario that I would like to speak to you about is about a customer that with their MVP was launched under 2 months. They are a Railsbank agent, meaning that they act under our EMI license, and basically they have created their own currency around gold, and we have a system for real-time payments where there is currency conversion at the point of spend. Basically, this customer issue cards for their end users that they can go into any point of sale and spend directly from the amount of gold that they have. Basically, we have a feed that is updated at every second of the rate that is currently live between GBP and gold, or gold to GBP. And anytime that a card user goes to a point of sale and tries to buy something, we do all the checks. We get the fee that is currently live. We do all the checks to see if that end user has enough gold or balance to cover for that operation. And we move currency and gold around to make sure that the card authorization can be approved or declined depending on the checks that we do. The second use case that I would like to speak to you about is about the cross-border neobank, meaning that this particular customer, they provide accounts to people in UK to be able to send funds over to their families or friends around the globe. We have mapped out a solution whenever these people wants to send funds over to their families. Funds are moved around between our environment and then the customers' local partners in the other countries to get people access to their money in a timely manner and much faster than being subject to the different payment schemes. This is basically how they are set up on our side. So every single person has an entity on our side created that is called an end user, which is basically the profile of the person. And that person has the basic account, which we call the ledger. Once someone wants to send money to their family or friends, there is a payment that initiated by the person that wants to make the payment. And basically what we do what we call an interledger transaction into a ledger that belongs to this particular customer. So the person that is making the payment will see a debit on their account. And then at the same time, once the funds are in our customer's funding ledger, they, at their local partnering bank, they will make the payment into the beneficiary, the end beneficiary that the sender, which is set on our side, Railsbank, wanted to initially send the funds to. This is good because the sender will have access to their funds way faster, and they are not subject to the scheme, let's say, delays or times or SLAs. And all of those SLAs only affect our customer when they want to kind of run the settlement cycles to send funds from our ledger, the ledger that they hold the funds on our side, into their local banking partner. The last but not least use case scenario is a salary advance customer that we have, meaning that people once signs up with this customer, they will have access to chunks of their salary way before they can hope for the end of the month, as we all are waiting for quite anxiously to have access to to our salary to be able to pay for whatever we want to pay, mainly goods, to food, anything that you can think of. So the way that this customer is set up on our side is they have a funding account on our side, where whenever a specific person is requesting for a salary advance, this customer of ours will send the funds through an interledger to the employer ledger that is created, and then this employer will advance this chunk of salary to the worker into their Barclays account, NatWest account, whatever bank they partner with. At the end of the month, there is some reconciliation to be done, because you can't receive your salary in full because you ask for a salary advance. The employer, from their operational account, they will send funds into an account that was created at Railsbank for the worker. And once that money comes into the worker's account, there will be three main things that are going to happen. The first one is going to be an interledger transaction to our customer's funding ledger to compensate for the salary advance that was done. Another interledger to a ledger that our customer has created just to receive the fees. And then the remaining balance, or the remaining bit of the salary that the worker is supposed to receive, is sent to the employer account at Railsbank. So then it can be paid to the worker on their banking partner, either Barclays, NatWest, whatever bank they work with. So these are three use case scenarios. We are very comfortable in working in these modules. Of course, there are many others that we can support, because our API is that easy to use, and it's very volatile in the terms that we can use it for many use cases. I will hand it over to Harrison now. I think you're on mute.
Every time. Hi, yeah, I'm Harrison. I'm the head of product roadmap at Railsbank, and I'm just going to give a quick tour of our product. Not that I really need to after that from Nuno. So fundamentally, we're API first. Plug into our Rails. Our Rails provide you with a given set of capabilities, and let us do the rest. We've extracted away all of the difficulty of financial services, so you can just plug into all of the power. Using our API, of course, as Nuno said, you can build pretty much any financial service use case, and importantly, we're just giving you the tools to do that. You can, let your imagination run free. So next slide. Where are we? Yeah, as I was saying, this just gives you a little bit of a quick overview of our sort of product stack, how it all fits together. What is a rail? What is Railsbank? Each rail connects to a given set of capabilities. So our banking rails, which are at the core of everything, connect you to the ability to issue ledgers, send and receive money in the local payment area, while our cards rail connects you to the ability to issue a card those ledgers. At the core of everything Railsbank is, and our operating system is really powering all of these interactions and creating a super simple, fast experience. But everything is decoupled away from ledgers, and you just plug in and run. So the Rails, as I was saying, contain everything you need to access those capabilities: technology, licenses, operations, clearing, the lot. Plug in your own licenses if you have them, and just run with it. So in terms of what we have ledgers at the core of everything. A ledger is just a unit of account. We've decoupled ledgers from all of our capabilities, so you can just activate those ledgers by plugging in different financial service rails, such as the card rail, credit rail, payments rail, and so on. What's up next? I think we're going into some more Lego. So as I was saying, Railsbank, just think of us as the building blocks to just create anything you can imagine building plugging ledgers upon ledgers, connecting to different, or plugging rails upon rails to build whatever financial service use case you like. What's next? Yeah, I think these are some key terms. So as I was saying, ledgers, our ledgers are decoupled from any of our capabilities. You just plug in the ability to send money, add a card to it, whatever. We have virtual ledgers as well. So virtual ledgers are essentially a programmatic unit of account. So you can track, as Nuno was saying, gold or whiskey, I think, or yeah, anything you really like, which is super powerful for creating like points-based experiences, or even just tracking a business. And yeah, ledgers are accessed through the API. We have banking ledgers in the UK, in Europe, in Singapore, in the US, and growing rapidly. So thanks. End users. So end users are our customer's customer. End users are the holders of ledgers. End users are the ones interacting with the end product, you know, and sending and receiving money using cards, whatever. And end users can be corporate or private individuals, and yeah, you can check out on the guides the sort of minimum details for them. So of course, if you have an end user and you want to send money to someone, you need to send money to a beneficiary. So end users, you know, just like in any banking app, you want to send money to your friend, to your family, you're going to need to create them using the Railsbank API as a beneficiary. A beneficiary can have any number of accounts, and those are real bank accounts. So, you know, I want to send money to my friend who has an account at Barclays, and I have to add his Barclays account using the API. You know, beneficiaries can have accounts in any currency, and so on. Importantly, Nuno was mentioning the idea of an interledger transaction. So if you just go on to the next slide, there's, broadly speaking, 3 types of transactions at Railsbank. There are interledger transactions, which, as you might assume, are transactions between ledgers held by a given customer. So you're going to be our customer, you consuming our APIs, and a transaction between 2 ledgers that you've created is an interledger, and that will be almost instantaneous. Obviously a great experience, super simple. You don't even need beneficiaries to do that, just 2 ledger IDs. Secondly, there's a sort of standard transaction from an end user to a beneficiary. That beneficiary might be local, they might also be international, and you use our sort of convert and send money payment rails to do that. And of course, it takes a little bit more time depending on the payment scheme, but again, a super simple experience. And last but not least is a card transaction, when an end user uses a Railsbank card that's plugged into a Railsbank ledger to make a transaction and at an ATM or whatever. I think that is that. Yeah. Pass over to Adam.
Thank you. Hi there, everybody. It's Adam here, our Chief Platform Officer, and I was the initial CTO. So I'm here to talk to you today about the technology aspects of Railsbank. So if I can have my next slide, please. We're going to pick up the pace a bit here, so hopefully I'm not going to go too fast. We just want to make sure we've got time for this introduction and then some questions. So guiding principles are really useful when you're building a product that essentially other people are going to rely on to run their business. And just whizzing through, that's the next slide, please. Just whizzing through on these, we've got some key principles. One is democratizing banking. That is to make it simpler and more effective and fairer for people to use. This is essentially part of what we do so people can take advantage of banking and help unbank the banked, or help bank the unbanked even, to reverse that. We want to make life easier for you. That's you as developers and you as people running businesses. And part of this comes on to demystifying the aspect around banking. As Harrison was saying, we've kind of got a simple approach to doing things. We use simple language and we want to make it easy. We also like believing in strong principles such as predictable URLs and simple patterns that you get used to as you use our simple APIs. Yeah. So we do the hard work. That's the heavy lifting. So to integrate with banks takes quite a lot of work. Generally speaking, it takes us 2 years to get a bank on board from conversation to platform. But once it's on there, essentially, it's part of the experience of onboarding, of our onboarding that bank to our platform. Means that essentially the way that you consume that bank is hidden behind the mysteries of Railsbank. What we want to make it do is to make it simple for you. You don't need to learn how each bank works. We handle that. And that's very much the heart of what we do. So a classic example of this is when you're creating a transaction in euros and when you're creating a transaction in GBP. At the top level, essentially, you just change euros to GBP. And that's the simple sort of aspect that we've done. So everything falls towards the Railsbank standard behind the scenes to make your life easier. Standards are great. In a previous life, I worked in standards and have actually built some open standards. So when I joined Railsbank, it was kind of keen that we actually standardize things. And to help us on this journey, there are some key things that are useful for you people who are developing. And those are, thank you, you're getting the hang of this, E164 for phone numbers. That's basically plus sign some numbers and then the rest of the numbers. For those who aren't familiar, Twilio have great resources on this and make a lot of sense for using this. Dates and times, so very useful when you're building stuff. We've stuck to 8601 throughout the whole thing to make your life easier. We stick to country codes as well that use this. And generally speaking, and no, not generally speaking, and holistically speaking, all of our times are UTC. So you don't have the complexities of dealing with time zones, which probably makes everything easy, particularly when you're dealing with real-time or near real-time banking. I shall slow down because I'm talking too fast. Oh, there we go. I even had a slide on this one. So yes, the t-shirt does kind of match the sock as well. So thank you. Yes, dates and times in UTC, which is super important. You may notice a slight theme in my slide decks. So this is just some of the things to help you get going and to bring you up to speed as hopefully you start exploring our APIs. And hopefully you'll get the feeling of using Play Live, which is our live sandbox here. In order to make this service available to people without an arduous KYC and onboarding process, that's your customer process, we've kept things to below the compliance limit. So this is why you can only do certain things, and that is up to 20 transactions. So you need to keep on top of this. Every transaction needs to be under £5 or €5. You can have 3 end users and you can have 3 ledgers. Those are the limits. If you do hit them, you'll get an error message that tells you what to do. And there may be some flexibility in this depending on where we are on this one. The other thing to be aware of is on Play Live, whilst we can offer card programs in production, we don't offer them by default on Play Live. And the reason for this is there's quite a lot of work in there. And we also need to know where cards are going if they're going that way. However, you can understand how the APIs work and try it from there. Okay, this is the time where we go into live demos. So Nuno can stop presenting here and we'll see how this works. I'll always caveat this with, yes, I am a chief officer and yes, I am going to try and work technology. But unfortunately, I can't see you all laughing at me when I'm doing this. So this is always going to be fun. So before I dive in, I'm just going to talk through some of the prep steps I've done to get things going once I can find my screen share button. So what I've previously done is I've signed up to the Railsbank sandbox here, and that's this wonderful little screen that you're seeing here. This is our user interface into the app. So you can see the docs, a link straight through to the documents. This is Play Our Sandbox, which is a dummy environment, and then we've got Play Live, which is, as I said, connected to real life banking. So this is where it's going to get fun, because hopefully in this demo, I'm going to create a ledger for you. I'm going to demonstrate creating a ledger using Railsbank, and I'm going to use my good old phone and my internet banking to send money, and hopefully that's going to work. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, basically what I've previously done is onboarded myself to Railsbank through the form, clicked through, and got some API keys. So the API key is the way that you work with Railsbank, and that's what we're going to be seeing here as we go through, although you won't see the key, hopefully, unless I really screw things up. So this is the app, and if you're signing up to explore it, this is what you should see as well. So now I have to remember how to do this. So we're going to delve into the delights of Postman here. Before I do it, I'm just going to say that for the demo, I've actually mocked up a lot of data before we got going here. So I've been using Mockaroo just so you can see what I'm doing, because we won't go into everything and showing you how to copy and paste. I presume most people know how to copy and paste. But what we've got is some demo data here, just to show you that it's hopefully not just a fix, because I want you to believe that this is a live demo. So here I've created the model of an end user, except I've chosen quite a few. You can see lots of nice dummy data. Dummy data is not so good in play live ordinarily, because whilst we are below the compliance threshold, we do actually want to know who you're doing. But as this is a demo, I thought I'd just use some data here. So we're going to see similar data as we go through the demo, hopefully. The other thing I've also done is set up a webhook, which we may get onto some time on in a bit. But here we go. So nothing here yet. So we'll see in a few minutes how we go. The other things I'll draw your attention to are the Railsbank guides, guides.railsbank.com, which tell you how to do things. This is how we create a transaction. So hopefully this is big enough. There we go. How we create a transaction. We'll come on to some of that as well. And the docs site, which is the reference to the API spec. So the two of those work well together in this respect here. And now we'll delve into the demo if I've got this right here. So this is a bit where I start panicking, because as I say, the chief officer trying to do a demo is always interesting. So what we're going to do is, as I say, we're going to create a webhook here. So I've pre-populated this with a link, which is incorrect. Now that's correct here. So this is the simplicity of the Railsbank platform. Sorry, this is all in Postman. As I say, probably the best way of doing an API demo here. So I'm setting my webhook URL. I've pre-populated this using some Postman parameters for a GUID, because hey, that's what they're there for. So this, all going well, is fantastic. Okay, so go. It wants me to have it on HTTPS. Funny enough, we're going to be sending stuff here. I've now got a nice 200, so that means it's gone through. Don't trust it. I'm going to use the get function. So you'll see post function is v1 customer webhook. The get function ingeniously exactly the same as you'd expect. And proof of the pudding, there we go. That's what I just popped in. So this bit works. We don't have any failed notifications yet, but one of the things that's really quite useful that I'll mention at this point as I zoom through is the option of parameters here. So if I get my buttons right, this is again me trying to remember how to use Zoom. So we'll do a nice wiggly arrow here. So what we've got here is some nice parameters. You probably can't see that now, can you? Because I've made that too clear. But these are essentially coming in here. And again, through Postman, I've done some variables. So today is a little moments.js hint to give me an ISO formatted date, because shock horror, that's here. And these things are really useful as you're developing your stuff, even in Sandbox on the platform here, is pagination, date ranges, descending orders for margins, and offsetting things against previous values. And this will really give you a speed performance or performance increase here. And now I can get rid of that and stop doing this. How do I get out of this share thing? Oh, no. So back to, what have I done? 1 minute, please, as I've messed this up. Oh, there we go. Right, back to normal. So all going to plan. I can hit this request again, 200. In my body, I have nothing, so I don't have any notifications here. Great. As we say, the actual main crux of Railsbank is on ledgers. But before we can create a ledger, we want to create an end user. We're doing this for normal use case, although if you are operating in your own money, that is you as a customer operating in your own money, you can indeed create ledgers yourself. to hold them. So this might be an example in the case of ledgers you hold for your own operating money, for your own business expenses, for various different things like that. But here we're creating an end user, which is one of your customers here. So what I've got here is, again, I'm going to show that I don't have anything in the last hour. I've been playing around today, so just to check everything worked through. So we're going to just go through and show that there's nothing in the hour that we're dealing in. Here, nothing. Okay, so let's have a go. Here we've got a post request to the end user's endpoint. Again, predictability. I want to create an end user, so I'm going to call it end users. And we're going to be creating Claire here, who's apparently here. So this is going to payload for Claire. So say it's standard sort of similar thing of biographical data. Name as one field because, hey, we support internationalization and best practice. Telephone number formatted. Here we go. Dates. Oh, look, it's a year, month, date. Country codes in LT. All of that sort of stuff here. In your real world, you probably do actually want to have your data valid, but for purpose of demo, this is really, really good. We support meta user, which are extendable to your own purposes here. The example that I'm showing here is just with a Salesforce reference. So for example, if you wanted to tie someone up to your CRM, that's exactly what we've got here. And you can use this in any way you want, as long as it's valid JSON. So hit this, I've got a 200 request, and lo and behold, I get an end user. In my tests, I've got this parameterized. So my end user is now here, so we can go ahead and save some time rather than copy and pasting every time. I've spoken enough, so I don't need to wait. And then we can just show you that here's my end user here. So as we saw earlier, when we ran the get end user, and this is actually for the end user we've just created. So this is the end user here. They're on the platform. Woohoo! So far so good. We've created, so far we've just created a real end user. Now we're going to create a ledger because I'm insane and I'm going to try and do this. So ledgers, again, we'll do a check to show you that this isn't a cheat. Again, look, date from an hour ago. Here we go, all times the UTC, as we say on Railsbank here. That's actually, yeah, that's right. So here we go. Nothing, as expected. So what have I got this? Get end users ledgers. Okay, so now we're going to look at the end user. So as we say, ledgers can belong to an individual, to an end user here. So let's just show you that Claire, I think it was, doesn't have a ledger already. So here we go. Nothing for Claire. Nothing for Claire. We're going to create this now. So again, a post request here. Post ledgers. I want to create a ledger, so I'm going to call it a ledgers as the endpoint here. Here we say who the holder is. So in this case, this is the end user. This can also be the customer. I'm going to say which product it is. So this is basically saying that I want GBP. I'm creating a GBP ledger. So I'm going to do this. I've got a bunch of things around what the ledger type is. These are covered on guides. The covering who owns the assets is useful for when you're looking at some of your reporting and things like this. And use types, again, see guides. Terms and conditions for most of these are GB. As Britain Brexits, there'll be other jurisdictions on this, and US for US contracts and Singapore for Singapore contracts. So here's our payload. It's really quite simple. I'm just basically saying, give me a GBP ledger. So let's see if I've managed to wreck this. Oh no, I haven't. I have no faith in this. So here we go, I've got a ledger. And again, I've parameterized this as you'd expect. So I'm going to see what my status of my ledger is here. And we'll have a look. So this is again a get request on the ledger and the ledger ID. I've got an IBAN, it's a good start. I've got my payments type. I've got Claire as the ledger holder. I've got a sort code. So I'm going to actually get my pen and I'm going to write this down because I'm going to use my phone in a minute and I can't use that at the same time because I'm an idiot. So 040379, that's a PayNet sort code. Oh, look, that's one of ours. So here's my holder, Claire's ID. I've got a BIC so I can send internationally. I haven't got any amount on this ledger yet. I've just created it. The good thing is it's also created OK. So, and you can again see my timestamp that's been created just a few moments ago. And now I've got my account number, which is 4362 1377. Okay, so this is a valid UK account number because we're going to work on live. And before I do that, I'm just going to show you that I don't have any on the ledger. I don't have anything on here. So we'll see this. And now I fire out my phone. So back to my online banking, or into my online banking. See if it wants to play ball. Yeah, wants me to log in. So I'm now going to create a beneficiary on my bank, on my personal bank account. So I hit the pay button, I hit make a payment. I'm going to create someone new. I'm going to call it live demo, because that really annoys banks, because that's always fun. And it's now asking me for my account number. So that's 43 62 13 77. The sort code is 040379. I'm now going to hit wonderful confirmation of who my payee is, and that's fine. So now we're going to call this a demo, what is it, 1610? 1610. For this, I'll use UK time here. I'm going to send 2 shiny pounds to this because I'm feeling really generous. I'm not confirming this is a scam, and I'm not rushed, and I'm now hitting continue. So now this should be £2 leaving my bank account at NatWest and whizzing it over across the wonderful thing of our direct connection to faster payments into the central infrastructure, and coming out through the magics of all of this to see if the money's yet arrived. Sometimes it takes a minute, sometimes it doesn't, but this is the joys of UK faster payments. I could have done this demo using euros, but I would have had to start this before 10 o'clock this morning to get same day payment, and it would only just about be arriving in here. And it's not quite as interactive, and I don't like mornings. So we're going to go back to our ledger. So let's get the created ledger. Over here, we're going to hit send, and all going to plan. My amount is now £2. So let's show you what's actually happened on the scenes here. So that actually worked, and it was quicker than I thought, so I didn't need to fill in quite so much. So I'm going to now look at my ledger entries here. And this is basically show me what's on my ledger, again, within a timestamp here. So look, I've got a UID for the ledger itself. It's a credit because it's a received money on the Railsbank platform. It's the £2 I sent, and it was created at 15:11 on the platform. Not bad. I've now got a transaction ID. I don't know if I parameterized this because I did this bit in a rush, so I'm going to just copy that just in case, and I can get my transactions. So again, get and transactions here, time to a last hour. Let's see what we've got. Bish bash bosh, I don't actually need it. So you can tell I can't actually spell because I'm typing in a rush. I said that's from the sort code. I said that's there. I instructed £2. It's a thing. Oh, look, that's me. It's my real bank account. That's the demo that I created, demo 1610. So yeah, that's the Railsbank API. The other thing that's missing is beneficiaries, because here we go. I want to at some point send this money back to me. Again, we're going to look at this. So beneficiaries, get beneficiaries here. Haven't got anyone here. My post output of here. So to make a beneficiary, again, some dummy data. So I've got a name, I've got an email, I've got a telephone number, I've got a date of birth, all of this for anti-money laundering purposes. This person's not politically exposed. They've been onboarded apparently on the 4th because that's some random date I chose. There's their Netherlands address. Again, this is our sample data. I've got a sort code, I've got an account number. The holder's incidentally me. Again, it's GBP1. I've put in some details about the bank so it all works. And again, I've got a different Salesforce reference here. Now I've got a beneficiary. I can go back and get my beneficiaries to show you again that this has been happening in real time. And here we go. If I wanted to at this point to send the money back, I could create a transaction, which ingeniously is about 5 lines of code. So let's have a look at the thing, because this is where we're going to go back to our docs. As I say, I haven't actually done this part yet. So if I go back to my docs here, I want to know how to send money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines of code to send money. Or 5 lines of JSON to send money, I should say. So here I say where the ledger's from, what my beneficiary is, that it's a faster payments thing, that I want to send $2. and a reference. And that, in a nutshell, is the Railsbank API. Simple and effective.
Brilliant. It's great when a plan comes together, hey, Adam?
And a chief officer can work technology.
Minor detail. Anything else you want to add?
Just the other thing really is part of this is all down to the wonderful way we work here to make life easier for you, and that's also sort of covering various different things. As we say, cards again is quite simple, FX really quite simple as well. Again, to make that really quite complicated business quite simple has taken quite a lot of work on our side, but that's what we do, is we build simple APIs so that you can use them. And at this point, I'd just also like to make a small plug to say that our platform's been built with AWS in mind, on AWS, and we're delighted to see AWS and Visa and Mastercard supporting this as well. So it's really, really brilliant to see all this going, and lots of fun stuff under the hood for anyone happening on the AWS side of things. I think we still have this on our StackShare. It should be StackShare Railsbank. That's it from me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Wow. How do we follow that? Well, there's a couple of things I would like to add. First of all, I hope that everybody views on demand and shares that, because Adam, that demo deserves to go viral. It is absolutely the best I have seen in a long time. And looking at my WhatsApp, you've got a bit of a fan club going on here as well. So well played you, and thank you. Lou, I've actually got some questions that I would like to put to you, please, from our audience. So the first one, if I may, in practice, non-financial services companies are not often clear what financial service propositions they might want to create. So somebody's here is looking for a little bit of guidance and a little bit of inspiration from the great Railsbank team. So the question is, do you help companies conceive the use of a user case and their propositions? So what help and support do you give somebody that's watching, that's inspired, that just wants to get the party going?
Sure. So first and foremost, we're a product company. So we're not a consultancy, but we are a product company, and people can use our products in different ways, as we've said. So, any type of financial use case. But for sure, we've worked with all sorts of use cases, from, retailers, such as some of the big supermarkets here in the UK, insurance companies, wealth managers, lots of neobanks, lenders, and all of them, we can go in there and people like Adam, Harrison, Nuno can show them the type of use cases that they can put together and embed into their app or their platform. So all the experience that we've got throughout the team, there's quite a lot of grey here, I cover it well, but there's lots of experience and lots of conversations that we've had, that we can help people build what they need to build. And some of them, you're right, some people don't even know they need to build it, or they can build it, but we would help them with that and present the different use cases from using the Railsbank API.
So may we suggest the person that asked that question, if they get in touch with us, we'll connect them with you. Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question is, how does Railsbank address KYC and KYB, given the lack of a truly digital identity framework?
So we have, Adam, you might want to help me on this one, but we've got a couple of providers that we use. I won't name them at the moment, but there's a couple of providers that we use that have integrated into the Railsbank platform so that our customers can use those APIs through our platform. Anything you want to add, Adam?
One of the other things that I didn't mention on demo, but we cover loosely in the docs, is the Railsbank Compliance Firewall, which is a rules-based engine that we wrote as one of our first bits of code, incidentally, that helps us build our compliance-first platform. So we've built it with compliance in mind throughout this. And this can essentially take a rules-based approach, at the moment, rules-based approach, to look at how you can predefine certain conditions to help you manage the risk. So you may want to onboard customers, as we were saying, if we look at some of the metadata side of things against an end user, you might want to put someone as saying they're high risk or their profile is high risk. That's fine. You can work with that, and then you can tie the rules so if it's a high risk, you inspect every single transaction they do. Other people, like low risk, you may only want to inspect when they hit 1 million or something like that, or some other targets like that. And this is what our compliance firewall helps you to achieve, is it's all about managing risk rather than saying no. And this sort of really does help open up banking to those who need it, because this way you can actually manage the risk. And that's essentially the game we're in, is managing and controlling risk.
Thank you, Adam. Lou, over to you to wrap up.
Yep, so all I've got to say really is best of luck, everyone. There's some great prizes here. We're all here to make you winners by bringing your ideas and concepts to life. And we hope you're going to build some amazing experiences for your customers. So let the games begin.
Thank you. I would like to say a couple of things before we go. First and foremost, thank you very, very much, Team Railsbank. That has been a masterclass. And I have to say, you have made a very technical product, good fun. And Adam, I am going to give that another shout out. I would like everybody to view this on demand. There was a lot of technical content there, and not only am I asking you to view it on demand, I'm asking you to reshare it and reshare it. That deserves not to be kept a secret. Please, let's spread that good word. You can actually view at the side of the screen how to get onto the Railsbank developer portal. To enter this competition, you need to go to our website, go to Appathon, and to register. Super simple process, as you might expect. All that remains for me is to wish everybody the best of luck, to reiterate what Lewis said, and good luck. And I look forward to literally seeing the hundreds of applications that we get. Thank you very much, and the very, very best of luck. Bye for now.